Welcome back to Mirrored Psych Inversion Theory in plain English. This is talk 14. The fall beneath the mask. There's a moment that many survivors mislabel as the discard, but that's not quite it. The real collapse doesn't happen the day they leave. It doesn't even happen the day you realise they never loved you. The true collapse, the fall behind the mask, happens much, much later. It's the moment you let go of the Redeemer, the moment you stop trying to fix them, the moment the fantasy dies, and with it, so does your frame of meaning. This talk is about that moment. The death of the frame. Meaningless emerges. The shared fantasy was never just a story. It was your structure. It was the scaffold for your beliefs, your hope, your very selfhood. When that fantasy surrendered, the psyche loses all orientation. There is no longer a future self to save them. There is no longer a past self who tried hard enough. There is no longer a present self who can hold it together. Everything implodes. You do not feel grief, not yet. You do not feel peace, certainly not. What you feel is the vacuum left by false meaning, and it is deafening. There is a minute by minute chaos, a war of opposites. This phase is not one moment, it is a feeling. It is a sustained psychic war, stretching for hours, weeks, months, years even. The internal dialogue becomes fractured. I miss them. They abuse me. It was real. It was all a fucking lie. Maybe I'm the narcissist. No, they are. I saw it, but I still feel love. Each thought contradicts the last. Each emotion betrays the one before. Each attempt at clarity brings more confusion. This is intra-psychic fragmentation. Your ego states are now in full conflict. The Redeemer still wants to go back. The Protector wants revenge. The mute child wants to disappear. The introject enforcer wants to punish. The truth self is screaming for air, but drowned in the noise. This is not grief alone. It is grief, anger, shame, longing, self doubt, and horror all at once. And each one is demanding dominance. The false self protector tries and fails to hold on. For a time, it makes a stand. It starts watching narcissism videos again. It intellectualizes. It tries to regain control through logic, detachment, or righteous rage. But the sheer gravitational weight of symbolic annihilation is too strong. The protector is pulled into the vortex, unable to stabilize the system. This is the collapse of defenses, the collapse of narrative, the collapse of everything. Even the parts of you that once helped can no longer protect. You are no longer disassociating from the pain, you are in it. Reflexivity turns to psychic self harm. The narcissist is gone, but they're still in your head. This is the moment when reflexivity becomes a weapon. You now think about thinking. You blame yourself for blaming yourself. You analyze your analysis until it fractures you. It is recursive, it is circular, it is self annihilating. You are not self reflecting, you are turning your psyche against itself. It's a howl round, an echo chamber of inner violence. And the only thing louder than the noise is the emptiness that sits beneath it. The body is now fully involved. Cold sweats, racing heart, adrenal burnout, dissociative shutdown, flashbacks with no images, only feeling, guttural crying with no trigger, numbness and panic and silence again. You're not just losing a person, You're not just grieving a relationship, you're losing the version of yourself who held it all together. This is symbolic death, and often it lasts months. Oscillation without anchor, meaning no center holds. This is not a linear process. You swing hourly between wanting to die, wanting them back, wanting justice, wanting to vanish, wanting to forgive, wanting to scream. The pulls and pushes now have no structure. You are oscillating across affective states, psychotic, borderline, neurotic, with no ability to regulate or assign meaning. Even time breaks down. You might lie in bed for days. You might compulsively overfunction for a week. None of it feels like choice. All of it feels like desperation. This is the absence of symbolic gravity. Nothing holds. Amidst all of this, one reflection does not distort. One part, however faint, begins to stir. The truth, self. But even this part is overwhelmed. It sees the truth, it sees the lies, it sees the entire shattered dream, but it can barely speak because there is no one coherent left to listen. It may whisper, "That was never love, that was survival, this was fantasy. I wasn't crazy, I was collapsing." And even this whisper is enough to provoke another wave of grief, because now you know the whole thing was built on delusion. Why the collapse is not the end, but the precondition. To outside observers, this phase can look like madness, and it is symbolic madness. It's what MPIT calls reflexive mirrored psychic inversion. It is the darkest psychic moment, but it is not pathology. It is the moment before rebirth, because only when the Redeemer is let go, the Protector has failed, the fantasy has died, the Hall of Mirrors has collapsed, the truth self is finally visible. Then they can begin symbolic authorship, and that is the next stage. If you are here, if your world has shattered and none of it makes sense, know this: you're not actually regressing. You're waking up. You're not broken. You're in the death spiral of the false, so the real may emerge. This is the fall beneath the mask, and you are still here. That's not weakness. That is proof that you are still real. Peace out. Loads of love.